In the headlines, flood displaces 40,000 people in Jigawa communities. NAPTIP rescues 19 suspected survivors of human trafficking in Kano. Court sacks Taraba APC governor candidate. Bwacha orders fresh primary. And on the foreign scene, national mourning ends in Britain after Queen's funeral. Hello and welcome to Trust News Update. I'm Dashin Hussaina Usman. And now the news in detail. Over 40,000 people have been displaced by the flood disaster in about 14 local government areas of Jigawa State. Victims camping in various public schools across the state say they have lost farmlands and farm produce and that they have nowhere else to go. Trust TV Northwest correspondent Idris Jibrin reports that authorities say over 90 people have so far been killed.
These are over 250 people who are living in this primary school. They are part of the victims of the flood disaster here in Jigawa. Now these people say they have nowhere to go and that they are not going anywhere. They will continue to stay in this place until government provides them with another place that they can be able to stay, because their village is submerged inside water, their farmland is gone, their food items are gone, everything is gone. They have nothing, they virtually have nothing. So they will continue to stay here until government provides them with another land so that they can build their houses and continue to stay with their families. Mark you, these people are only among the over 40,000 people that are said to be affected by this flood disaster across Jigawa State. There are over 40,000 people affected in all the 14 local governments, in about 14 local government areas of the state. And if you go out there, there are also farmland. Thousands of farmlands were destroyed by this flood disaster. In fact, there are villages submerged along the road as I'm coming from Duse to Ringim here. I've seen so many villages that were submerged inside water. All you can see is the zinc from a far distance. Those villages are inaccessible. We can't even enter the villages to see what remains around that area. And all these small children that you are seeing, they are staying here with their parents. There is no enough food, there is no good medicine, and the shelter is also very poor because these people are sleeping on the floor. There are no mattresses, they are only sleeping on the floor. So they are asking for government to provide some relief materials, which of course these relief materials have not started coming yet, even though the state government says they are trying their best to see how they can provide these people with at least food. But then the environment is actually very poor where they are living here at the moment.
Similarly, commuters plying Yola-Mubi Highway, the gateway to the northern state of Adamawa, have called for urgent intervention to ease movement of goods and services. A call followed a flood caused by torrential rains in the early hours of Monday. The early morning rainfall flooded a large portion of the Yola-Mubi Highway, cutting off the capital Yola from the northern part of Adamawa State. Commuters traveling from Yola to major northern Adamawa towns such as Song, Gombe, Hong, Mubi, Maiha, Michika, and Madagali, among others, had to stop on both sides of the flooded portion near Jabilamba. Travelers appealed to government at all levels, especially the federal government, to fix the road and save users from the stress associated with the bad nature of the road.
The problem is the overcrowding, the blockage in the highway along Yola-Mubi Road. We are out for the school monitoring. Today is the official resumption date of our schools, both primary and secondary schools. So we are out to monitor to ensure that the strict compliance and the resumption of the students. Urokulama Nomadic Primary School is overflooded. We have to stop our pupils to come in for their safety, for our safety, and for the safety of the students. So this school cannot resume today.
For this morning, I'm expected to be there by 8 o'clock in the office. But unfortunately, due to the flood, I'm not able to go. And I tried to get my people there. All network and other things.
In crime, 19 survivors of human trafficking have been rescued by the National Agency for the Prohibition of Trafficking in Persons, NAPTIP, Kano office. Zonal commander of the agency, Abdullahi Babale, said this in Kano on Tuesday. Babale told News Agency of Nigeria that the survivors were those rescued in the state between September 13 and 18 by the Joint Border Task Force, adding that the suspected trafficker was also arrested during the joint operation. He disclosed that the survivors were recruited from Abia, Kaduna, Lagos, Ebonyi, Edo, Imo, Ondo, Oyo, Ogun, Enugu, and Kogi states. According to Babale, the suspected trafficker is an indigent of Kano and was taken to victims to Libya for commercial sex and labor exploitation, while the survivors were between the ages of 18 to 32 years. The zonal commander also disclosed that 18 of the survivors were females, while one was a male. Nigeria Immigration Service has assured family of late Kulsum Buhari, killed by a Chinese lover, that justice will ultimately prevail. Kano State Comptroller of the service, Mustafa Ahmed, gave the assurance when he paid a condolence visit to the family. Ahmed said this while his men arrested the Chinese Jen Kwarong at the scene of the crime and handed him over to the police with all exhibits that were recovered from him. Mother of the deceased, Fatima Jibril, thanked the Comptroller General for the condolence visit, saying the family is still in shock over the incident. Still in crime, 10 suspects, including a dismissed operative of the Department of State Services, have been arrested for robbing a bullion van in Abia State. The Commissioner of Police in the state, Janet Agebe, who disclosed this on Monday at a press conference in Umuahia, identified the ex-DSS operative as Prosper Israel from Abia State. Israel was paraded on Monday alongside 9 other suspects at the police headquarters in the state capital 2 months after the robbery. Reports say the suspects were part of the 14-man robbery gang that ambushed a bullion van near Ntiga Junction on the Enugu-Port Harcourt Expressway on July 26, 2022. Exhibits recovered from the suspects included 1 general-purpose machine gun, 13 AK-47 rifles, 1 cutter-sized double-barrel gun with 5 live cartridges, and 84 AK-47 magazines, among others. The Federal High Court sitting in Jalingo has nullified the governorship primary election that produced Senator Emmanuel Bwacha as the candidate of the APC in the 2023 election. Justice Amobeda, in his ruling in a case filed by one of the governorship aspirants, Chief David Sabo Kente, directed the Independent National Electoral Commission to conduct a fresh governorship primary in the state within 14 days. The court also ordered Bwacha to stop parading himself as the governorship candidate of the APC and INEC to stop recognizing Bwacha as a candidate. Justice Amobeda described as inappropriate the alleged false declaration of results at the Damba Abasuntai Airport, Jalingo, before jetting out of the state via private jet by the returning officer. Reacting to the judgment, counsels for the APC and sacked candidate stated that they will study the judgment before either proceeding to the appeal court or submitting to a fresh primary. A federal high court ruling in Abuja has ruled that ex-Jigawa State Governor Sule Lamido and his co-defendants have a case to answer in the 712 million naira money laundering charges filed against them by the Economic and Financial Crimes Commission. The EFCC is prosecuting Lamido on 37 amended charges alongside 2 of his sons, Aminu and Mustafa Lamido. Other defendants include Aminu Abubakar, a business associate to the Lamidos, and 4 companies. The former governor had filed a no-case submission after the EFCC closed its case, stating that the evidence provided by the prosecution did not disclose any case against him. However, ruling on the no-case submission, Justice Ijoma Ojukwu dismissed his claim, ordering him to open his defense on November 8. Ahead of the official commencement of campaigns leading to the 2023 general elections, Gombe State Police Command has warned political parties against the use of violence. The Commissioner of Police in the state, Ishola Babeta, gave the warning on Monday during a stakeholders meeting in preparation for the commencement of electioneering campaign. Ibrahim Ismail reports.
The stakeholders meeting organized by the Nigeria Police Gombe State Command had in attendance representatives of political parties, Independent National Electoral Commission (INEC), traditional and religious institutions. The purpose is to ensure a conducive atmosphere before, during and after the 2023 general elections in Gombe State.
Participatory democracy, the provision of basic security of political parties rally provide a level playing field for all political parties and candidates to canvass for support, which is sine qua non to the overall integrity of the democratic and electoral processes. Objective of this imperative session, which is at the behest of the Gombe State Police Command, is part of the Inspectorate of Police deliberate effort at ensuring all activities of Nigeria Police before, during, and after 23 general election are in conformity with the Electoral Act 2022.
Representative of the Independent National Electoral Commission (INEC) Gombe State Office urged political parties to cooperate with the Commission throughout the electioneering cycle.
Able campaign, just as the police said, we also need a copy of where you are going and the date, because we have people, in fact, coming from even our national headquarters. All the parties should know this. They know what is happening. Not only we are sending our men to go and observe the campaign in each location. So please try and cooperate with us so that we make things to be peaceful. I also want to join the politicians. We are also going to give we are going to conduct a free and fair election, inshallah. And apart from that, we are going to give a good playing ground.
From the traditional institution, the Waziri Yariman Gombe, Alhaji Yahya Hammari, said traditional leaders are neutral and vow to support the conduct of free, fair and credible elections.
Gombe is the host of everybody, more especially the IDPs. There are influx of people from different walks of life. Therefore, what we are just praying for, to have a complete information sharing between the security agents and the other political parties that are mandated, already registered under INEC.
This stakeholders meeting is coming barely 3 weeks to the commencement of campaigns ahead of the 2023 general elections. From Gombe, Ibrahim Ismail reporting for Trust TV.
Still talking politics, candidates aspiring to represent Kwara South Senatorial District at the National Assembly have pledged to tackle the rising security challenge and poverty in the area if elected. They made the pledge in Ilorin during a debate organized by the Kwara South Consultative Youths Forum. The report.
The debate was organized by some Kwara South youths to fill the polls of those aspiring to represent them either at the Senate or House of Representatives. It was also an avenue for the organizers to intimate the aspiring National Assembly members of the needs of the people of the district.
We organize it because we need good governance, and it is high time we realize this. The majority of our representatives needs to know why they are representing us, and it is good time to let them realize that you are representing us, you are not representing yourself. And that is why we come up with this type of program. We want to let them know that we exist.
The people lament the security challenges in the area is discouraging investment. They stress the need to promote policies that will protect lives and property and address the high rate of armed robbery and kidnapping in the area. The candidates who identified unemployment and attendant poverty, especially among the youth, called for the establishment of farm settlements to encourage youths in agriculture.
There's a general skepticism amongst our people. Loss of hope and faith in the process, lack of trust and frustration, economic hardship. Our people, even when they are employed, they are underemployed. You're working 2-3 jobs, but you don't have enough money to feed yourself or your family. So there's a lot of underemployment, unemployment. 7 out of 10 of our youth are unemployed. It's a problem, big problem.
For the traditional rulers, politicians need to prioritize the welfare of their people.
I believe it's because of level of poverty we find ourselves. I believe it's because of the bad leadership we have been producing, or maybe bad leadership that they are producing themselves every time. So please, I will just advise you when you get there, do what you can do maximally for your people to lift people out of poverty.
Kwara South Senatorial District comprises 7 local government areas, namely Ekiti, Okeoro, Ofa, Ifelodun, Irepodun, Isin, and Oyun.
You're watching Trust News Update, coming up after the break. IDPs lament lack of basic amenities. Do stay with us. Welcome back and thanks for staying with us. If you're just joining us, you're watching Trust News Update. Let's take a look at some of our top stories. We told you that flood displaces 40,000 people in Jigawa communities. We also heard that NAPTIP rescues 19 suspected survivors of human trafficking in Kano. Moving to more news, the Zamfara state government has commenced the distribution of tricycle ambulances to the 147 primary healthcare centers constructed to boost healthcare services in the state. The state's Commissioner for Health, Abubakar Aliyu, at the distribution exercise enjoined those saddled with the responsibility of manning the new primary healthcare centers to make use of the tricycle ambulances for the purpose of improving healthcare service delivery at the ward level in the state. The commissioner, who was represented by the permanent secretary in ministry, Aliyu Maradung, said the tricycle ambulances are meant to improve referral from primary healthcare centers to secondary health facilities.
If you look inside, there's a bed, there's wheelchair, there's a stretcher, there's also a lot of accessories which can lead or support the client to be transferred from the primary healthcare to the secondary healthcare facility when there are need for referral. The main is at least to improve the referral system from the primary healthcare facilities to the secondary healthcare facilities. Each ward will receive one at least. Like what His Excellency the Governor has said, and also the Honorable Commissioner, please let's follow all the due process, the maintenance whatsoever, because we are going to embark into a serious quality supervision, and also we directed the primary healthcare board also to conduct a supervision periodically so to make sure that this tricycle ambulance, which was bought by His Excellency the Eto Governor of the Zamfara State, has put into use the purpose that it has been bought.
Over 2,000 internally displaced persons living in Malkohi camp, the second most populated IDP camp in Adamawa State, have decried lack of sufficient food, healthcare personnel, teachers, among other basic necessities of life as major factors besieging their lives. Salis Lowen reports on how these vulnerable people are calling on government to assist them as a matter of urgency. The report.
Boko Haram crisis in Adamawa, Borno and Yobe states have led to significant amount of loss of life, internal displacement, property destruction, decline in public service delivery, and significant disruption of social system of the community. Lasting peace and stability in the affected areas will likely remain threatened unless a strategic and sustainable system of reintegrating these victims back into the society is achieved.
So don Allah muna rokan wannan a kawo mana magani, makaranta da kuma tallafawa yaranmu da suke secondary school a Army Barrack da nan Malakwai a taimaka mana inda hali.
Our living condition here is appealing. Clinic no medicine, school no teachers, and also food stamps assistance are no longer coming like before. We seriously need to be supported. Please, we need our children to be educated. And more, our living condition need to be checked. Women and boys, who form the larger percentage of the camp population, are seriously affected educationally and psychologically.
Yes, we do receive some assistance from government and other non-governmental organizations. However, we need more. Our kids are no longer in school. Women and children are suffering, especially when it comes to healthcare services. We don't have business doing. As such, lead us to begging. We don't like it.
Stakeholders believed providing livelihood support to enhance community coexistence between internally displaced persons and community residents will go a long way in providing a sense of belonging to these victims who lost nearly everything. They also solicited for the provision of key humanitarian services that have significant implications for mental health and psychosocial well-being to ameliorate hardship and trauma faced by these internally displaced persons. Salis Lowen, Trust TV News, Yola.
In business, average price of 5 kilogram cooking gas increased from 4,397 naira in July 2021 to 4,456 naira in August 2022, the National Bureau of Statistics disclosed in its cooking gas price watch issued on Tuesday in Abuja. According to the report, the price in August indicated a 1.34% increase on a month-on-month basis from what was obtained in July. The report added that Taraba recorded the highest average price of 4,925 naira for 5 kg cooking gas, while Katsina State recorded the lowest price of 4,020 naira in August. Analysis by geopolitical zones showed that the North Central recorded the highest average retail price of 4,615 naira for 5 kg cooking gas, while the Northwest recorded the lowest retail price at 4,285 naira. On the international scene, flags on British government buildings around the world are flying at full mast once again as the period of national mourning following the death of Queen Elizabeth II draws to a close. The Queen was buried in a private ceremony in Windsor on Monday evening, following a state funeral in London and military procession to Windsor Castle. But the royal family will continue to observe another week of mourning. Senior royals are not expected to carry out any public duties during this time. Flags at royal residences will remain at half-mast until 8 a.m. British time on 27 September, the day after their mourning period ends. Buckingham Palace has said royal household staff, representatives of the household on official duties, and troops committed to ceremonial duties will also observe the extended mourning period. An intensive cleanup operation is underway after hundreds of thousands of people across the UK flocked to London to watch the Queen's funeral. And finally, in sports, the world record set by Tobi Amusan in the women's 100-meter hurdle semi-final at the Athletics Championship in Oregon in July of this year has been ratified by the World Athletics, previously known as IAAF. This was disclosed on the athletics body's official website via a statement on Tuesday. Amusan had run a time of 12.12 seconds, defeating former world record holder Kendra Harrison, who had set the world record in the 100 meters hurdles with a time of 12.20 seconds in 2016 at the London Mueller Anniversary Games. The time of 12.12 seconds makes it the official world record to beat in the 100 women's meter hurdles. Amusan became the first Nigerian world champion in an athletics event when she won the 2022 World Athletics Championship 100 meters hurdle gold medal. And with this, we've come to the end of Trust News Update. Don't forget to connect with us on all our social media platforms. I'm Dashin Husseina Usman. Thanks for watching.